Hey Yappers, welcome back to Binge Yap Repeat. Today, my sister Anjali and I are yapping all about Netflix's new chilling drama series, Wayward. We dissect all of the symbolism in the show, like the toads and the other animal references. We talk about the characters and their tragedies, and my sister shares about the real school the story was based on. It's definitely feeling like spooky season here at Binge Yap Repeat. Hope you enjoy the episode. Hey Yappers! Welcome back to Binge Yap Repeat. I am joined today by my sister Anjali.
Hello.
And we are going to be discussing the new Netflix series, Wayward. Wayward is a Canadian mystery thriller limited series created by Mae Martin, who also plays the character Alex, for Netflix. The series stars Martin, Olivia Allen Lind, Sydney Topliff, and of course, Toni Collette, Sarah Gadone, and John Daniel. The story is set in the fictional town of Tall Pines, Vermont, and follows a pair of teenagers and a local police officer uncovering the town's dark secrets. It was released on Netflix on September 25th. Anju, what were your overall thoughts?
I really liked the show. The premise is actually, I think, based on a real life school.
Really?
Yeah, so I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago, I watched a Netflix documentary called The Program, and it centered around this real life school. It was basically like a reform school, quote unquote. And it was the same thing where the parents would have these people come in and basically kidnap their children
Oh my god.
and take them to the school and basically hold them hostage.
What?
And it was this really controversial school. I think it was in Maine, called the Elan School or something. And there were all these reports that were coming out, but there wasn't anything concrete against them to shut it down. And they eventually shut it down in like 2011 or so because of low enrollment, quote unquote. But it gained a lot of notoriety, and then this documentary just like completely exposed what was going on inside. And so actually, as soon as we saw the recruitment video in Wayward about Tall Pines, I was like, oh, I think this is the same thing.
Oh.
And it was. It was, I think it had to have been based on that school.
Huh.
And I think I read Mae Martin's friend, Mae Martin, who's the creator of the show, their friend was taken into a school like that, and that's what inspired them to create this show.
Whoa.
So, yeah, I think it was so well done, and it's crazy that it was based on true events. Maybe not necessarily a true story,
Yeah.
but yeah, I thought it was really well done. And it compared to the documentary, I think there were a ton of similarities. So they tried to make it as unfortunately realistic as possible.
Interesting. Okay, I'll definitely have to ask about what similarities you noticed. But overall, I agree with you. I thought it was a really good show. It kept me hooked. Yappers, we weren't even planning to do this show for this episode, but I watched the first episode with our mom, and it was so good that I was like, Anju, we have to watch this show and record an episode for it. And so, yeah, it was really gripping. I thought the acting was really good.
Yeah.
And I'm obsessed with Toni Collette and everything she does. So she's incredible, and she always plays these kind of spooky, eerie characters really well. One show that comes to mind is United States of Terror. Did you watch that?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, that show is so good. It's about, she's the main character, and she has dissociative identity disorder. So she has, I think, 3 main personalities or identities that she enters at random times. And then as you learn more about her, you learn that there's a traumatic experience that caused these, and then more identities start coming out. And it's really
Whoa.
freaky, but she does such an incredible job. So that's one thing that comes to mind. And she's been in, of course, so many things.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was good. And I really liked the two characters, Lila and Abby, and their friendship, and it was so sweet.
Yeah.
And the third thing I really liked was Alex's relationship with his wife in
Mm.
the show, and just how they portrayed all of that, how they brought up the topic of gender and sexuality in such a subtle way. It was not a focal point of the show, but it was obviously there and very inclusive, and just kind of it was so casually included, which I
Mhm.
loved.
Yeah, I really love that too. I think they like maybe alluded to it here and there where I think Alex and Laura were talking about their time in Detroit and how there was nothing there for them.
Hmm.
And I thought maybe that could be alluding to Alex's gender identity.
Mm.
Maybe. And then when Alex met his partner, I forget his partner's name.
Laura.
No, police partner.
Oh, Dwayne,
Yeah,
I think.
Dwayne. Okay. When Alex met Dwayne, Dwayne said like, "Oh, we're a very liberal town."
Yeah.
And so that like subtly alluded to it, and I think it was just enough for us to be like, "Oh, they actually recognize this," but not put the spotlight on it.
Yes.
I really appreciated that because I feel like when you have queer people in TV shows, often their queerness is the focal point of their
Yes.
character. That's like their identity. But for Alex, he was so much more than just being a trans man.
Yeah, that did not play a factor in the story at all. It could have been played by a not trans man
Yeah,
also, and it would have been the exact same story.
totally.
Yeah. I really liked it.
Yeah.
While we're on that topic, I think a few other things I noticed, and it made absolute sense that it was created by Mae Martin after I realized that, but other parts that I felt were just so inclusive. Is that the right word? Like inclusive, progressive, but just kind of like evolved, I guess maybe is the word I want to use. Evolved to a point where gender and sexuality and identity was talked about, but not the story.
Mm.
One part that I was thinking of was when Abby assumes that Mule is gay when in fact
Mm,
they are straight? Question mark? Or
yes.
yeah, with a man. And then the other one was Lila just kind of just like casually mentioning that she's bi.
Mhm.
And yeah, there were just so many things that felt so, I don't know. I think this is the first show or movie that I've seen where there is so much dialogue about it, but nothing is the focal point of the story, which felt
Yeah.
so real.
Yeah. I can actually think of one more. It was when one of Laura's friends, he was talking about how his parents sent him to the school, and Alex said something along the lines of, "Oh, were they trying to scare you straight?" And he was like, "No, they weren't."
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. She says, "Did Evelyn try to therapize you
Oh,
straight?"
yeah, that's
And he was like,
right.
"No." Yeah. I think his parents did want to scare the straight.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I misremembered.
Yeah, but yes, the point still stands. Like, yeah, it was just so casual. He was like, "No, she did try to change me."
Yeah.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah.
Um, okay, let's see. Okay, I think one of the biggest themes in this show was the inclusion of animal imagery.
Mm.
So, one is the identities of the other school employees. So, like rabbit, mule, duck.
Yeah.
Who else was there? That might have been all the ones we got names
Yeah. I
of.
can't think of any.
And the other was the frogs. So maybe we can start with rabbit, mule, and duck. What do you think the significance of naming them animals rather than using their real names is?
That's a good question. I thought it was a way to infantilize the kids more. Like they're teenagers, they're almost adults, but it almost felt like a summer camp where all
Mm.
the camp counselors get fake names. So I thought it was a way to infantilize them. And also a way to hide their identities in
Mm.
case these kids do get out and they want to say something against the school. They don't know any of their names. So that's where I was coming from. But I don't know. I'm curious your thoughts on that.
Yeah, those are completely different from what my thoughts were, but I agree with you. I think that both of those points are absolutely true. My read was that it was a way to dehumanize the actual employees who were also graduates of the school.
Mhm.
into just becoming a part of her kind of animal clan, Evelyn's animal clan. And it's like
Ooh.
they lose themselves and they become just one of her animals. That was how I read it. Yeah.
Oh, I can
But
totally see
maybe,
that too.
yeah, maybe both.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I could totally see that. I feel like because they had these animal names, I was trying to see if their personalities matched the animal that they were associated with.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know if there was anything there. I feel like I was maybe reading into that too much.
I was thinking about that too. I think there was something about Mule that made me like, made me think, oh, that's appropriate for Mule's character,
Yeah.
but I can't remember exactly what it was.
I mean, maybe just because she's like a butch woman.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, and then with Rabbit, not really. I guess the only tie to anything that the animal names had was that they vaguely were derived from their actual names, like Rabbit for Rebecca, Mule for Mel or something,
Yeah.
Melanie or something. Yeah. And then I don't know what Duck's name was, but
Okay, Duck was so creepy. I remember maybe it was the first or second episode when they were giving a tour. Someone was giving a tour of the facility and the tour guide was like, "Oh, Duck is in charge of the boys." And he was like massaging one of the boys. It gave me like pedophile vibes. So,
Ew. Ugh, disgusting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And he didn't really play a huge character after that, I feel like.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna dig more into that, but honestly, just alluding to it was enough for me to feel like this is fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I do want to talk about the toads.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I guess maybe I'll ask you what were your thoughts on the toads? And then I saw some stuff online about the symbolism for
Oh,
the toads, so I can share
okay.
those.
Okay, I was wondering how the toads were gonna play into this. So, at one point, I think you thought it was hypnotism.
Yeah, okay, yappers, when Laura went to the lake and heard the toad and then like had that weird like hypnosis thing, I thought that Evelyn was using toads to control her hive mind in the town, which turned out to be very wrong.
It's like the bucket hats and SpongeBob that go down on everyone's head and they turn into robots.
Yes. I thought that's exactly what was
Oh
happening.
my god. So I did not think it was hypnosis.
Okay.
And then I was reading on Reddit and some people thought it might be like toad venom that's used in the leap drug, which I
Oh.
hadn't really thought of that.
Mm.
And I don't think they ever said that, but so many people on Reddit were talking about it. It's like, oh, maybe I missed something.
Huh.
So maybe that, but then the theory I saw that I think I agreed with most was basically these toads were an invasive species in this town, and that's very symbolic of this cult that basically took over this entire town.
Yes. Yeah, I think that was my main takeaway too, especially when we saw the tadpoles being bred in the school. It was kind of a symbol of like
Oh,
her minions are also being bred in the school and then being
yeah.
released into the town. So yeah, that was one thing and um it was okay, I guess that's all about that. And then I looked into the toads a little bit online. So apparently they're this species of toad. Okay, so they're this species of toad called cane toads,
Hmm.
and they are an invasive species that destroy ecosystems. They're poisonous and toxic, and they prey on smaller species, aka children.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So and then okay, so then what else? Yeah. Okay. Sorry. In some cultures, including Egyptians and Aztecs, toads symbolize prosperity, good luck, and positive transformation. Let me start this over. So then there's another theory that I read about how toads kind of symbolize the good and the bad side of Evelyn.
Hmm.
Because in some cultures, like Egyptians and Aztecs, toads apparently symbolize prosperity, good luck, and positive transformation, which is definitely what Evelyn's intent was and why she rose to power and influence in that town because she was promising all of this positive transformation for children. However, in some cultures like medieval Europe, some current forms of Christianity, toads are actually a symbol of evil. So many folk tales present them as either demons or signs of the devil. So it's kind of like
Oh.
two sides to her, where she obviously, when she started this cult, it was with the intention of this positive transformation, a
Yeah.
utopian society, but it has devolved into evil.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I like that.
I know,
Uh,
right? Um, okay, and then the third thing that I saw about toads is that the toads of Wayward also connect to the leap that
oh
students
yeah,
take.
I saw
Yeah.
that too.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, like a toad leaping. Um, yeah, I guess anything else to say about leaping?
No.
Okay. But yeah, I really thought that it was something about the sounds that the toads make that were like changing the behavior of the town, but I guess not.
No. I remember when Evelyn was choking Rabbit in like the dungeon
Yeah.
area, and then she like snapped out of it, and you were like, "Rewind! I heard a frog sound," and there was no frog sound.
It was just Rabbit going,
Yeah, which does kind of sound like a toad.
it
But
does.
I don't think they were going.
No, they were not. Okay, related to the toads and kind of the symbol for the children,
Mm.
let's talk about the town's decision to not have any children in the town.
Mm.
So, one thing that I found really odd was, do you remember at the farmer's market towards the beginning of the show, there was that ice cream truck
Mm-hmm.
that came? And obviously, there were no children around. It was only adults eating the ice cream, but there was
Yeah.
on the truck, it was painted, "Watch out for children." And it's
What?
like, why was that there?
I did not see that.
Yeah. Do you think it's because they wanted to pretend like it's a normal town, so they still had it on there? Or do you think the watch out for children meant something else?
Yeah, maybe.
Hmm.
Huh. Yeah, I was thinking about that more. And I think I have a theory for why there are no children in the town. So, if you remember, Evelyn was telling her backstory and her parents took her baby away from her. Um, I think that like put in her mind this like thing about parent-child relationships.
Mm.
And now like I saw this theory online that said basically she's running this cult to completely have control over parent-children relationships. And so they don't want any children to come into this town until she has complete control over every single person in this town. So she wants every person coming out of the cult to live in this town and basically drive everyone else away.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Because how many people do you think are in the town right now that didn't go to the school?
Yeah, I would think no one except for Alex.
Okay, yeah. Maybe that was the point because she did allow Laura to move with
Yeah.
while being pregnant. So maybe it was like, okay, I have achieved this. Now it's
Yes.
time for the first baby.
Yeah. Maybe.
Interesting. Yeah, I also was thinking that, well, kind of the parallels between Laura starting her own cult when she's pregnant
Mm,
and like kind of that being the basis of starting the cult because she wants a good life for her child
mm,
versus Evelyn starting her version of the cult after her baby was taken away from her and kind of like the anti-parallelism of those
yeah.
two situations.
Super interesting.
Yeah. And I was thinking maybe from Evelyn's point of view, it was like, if I can't have my child, if my child was taken away from me,
Mm,
yeah, kind of like what you said about the control, but like no one else can have a child until I know I'm confident that like the child would be what I wanted it to be
yeah.
or something.
Yeah. I also saw a theory that Laura is Evelyn's child.
Oh, that's interesting. I was wondering if they were gonna come back and reveal that someone was Evelyn's child. I was like, is Alex
Yeah.
Evelyn's child?
Yeah. I feel that like that was kind of a plot hole.
Yeah.
Uh,
Where did Evelyn's child go?
Yeah. A lot of people are thinking it's Laura.
Mm.
And they're saying that Laura um joined this cult and then after taking the leap, killed her adoptive parents. So, like, because of Evelyn told her to, so that Evelyn could be her, like, sole provider.
Whoa, and get back control of her child.
Yeah.
I could see that, I guess. But why would they take her?
Yeah, I know.
Or maybe Evelyn's parents took the baby away and then just gave it up for adoption.
Yeah,
Okay, and then
yeah,
these poor adoptive parents didn't even know what was coming.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a cool theory,
Yeah.
and if there's a season 2, I would love for them to dig into that more.
Yeah. I wanted it to be something crazy like Alex is the child, and then Alex is like, "Wait,
Oh my
I've been part of
god.
this my whole life?"
That would be crazy.
That'd be so crazy.
Ugh,
Oh, yeah. On the topic of children, the skin to skin thing at the very end was so
that
disturbing.
was so weird.
So weird. And I can't believe Alex just accepted his future.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, and I was looking at that on Reddit too. A lot of people had the question, like, why did Alex stay? Some people were saying he's probably thinking Laura will never leave, and he's been wanting a nuclear family for so long.
Mm.
This is the only way he would get it, which is really tragic. Because he's basically giving up his life for this
Yeah.
cult.
And everything he stands for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another theory was this town is so liberal, and this was back in 2003, where being trans wasn't nearly as accepted as it
Mhm.
is now. And he felt the safest there.
Mm.
Like, people fully accepted his identity, which is also extremely tragic
Tragic and fair.
and fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be like, well, I'm gonna have a hard life no matter where I go. This is the battle I'll choose to
Right.
fight.
And if he took their baby, like, it is not his biological baby,
Very true.
and the cops could just take it away from him if he ever got
Very
caught.
true. Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would not have been an easy road
No.
once he escaped
definitely not.
Tall Pines.
Yeah.
Or there's a very good chance it would have been a difficult road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Also, yeah, seeing him with a baby and a girl who clearly isn't his,
Yeah.
Abby, yeah, that would look very suspicious.
I know. Oh, but I was so sad that that wasn't the real
I
ending.
know.
I was like, oh, yay, they made it out.
I felt like it was too good to be true when Abby started saying, like, you'll provide for us. You're our guardian. I was like, this seems off.
Yeah.
This doesn't seem like it's actually happening.
Yeah.
So close.
So close. But at least Abby got out.
Yeah, with toast.
Yeah, she just took toast. Poor Alex lost toast.
I know.
And his car.
Oh my gosh.
Ugh. Okay, and then I also wanted to talk about well, there's this specific thing that I noticed, which was that there were some parallels between the friendship of Lila and Abby and the friendship of Laura and Rabbit. Where I think, did Rabbit say that she was jealous of Laura getting so much attention from
Yeah.
Evelyn and stuff? Okay. Yeah. So then I was like, oh, does this mean that Abby's gonna stay and Lila's gonna get out? But that didn't end up happening.
No. I don't think Abby was actually truly ever jealous.
Mm.
I think she was always very anti-Evelyn. But yeah, it was interesting to see the parallels of how people are in the same situation but take completely different paths. And, like, towards the end when Abby and Lila, they had that hot seat session where they basically got in a fight. I was like, no, like, Lila's getting away from Abby. And then they met in the supply closet and tried to mend things, and I was like, okay, maybe they'll both get out. But in the back of my mind, I was like, I feel like Lila is too far gone because Abby's, like, pulling her from the brink, but then she's completely drawn back into Evelyn as soon as she goes back to Evelyn. Yeah, I kind of saw that coming.
Yeah. I know. And I think I really liked how they portrayed Lila's very slow
Yes.
transition
Yeah.
too, because she was like almost more upset than Abby was her first day there. Abby was like, dude, we
Yeah.
just got to play the system.
Yeah.
We got to make it work for us. And Lila was like, let's do it. Ah! Yeah. And then just something snapped. When did things start changing? Was it
It was
after Ello?
after their rebellion and Elo. I
Mm.
think that's when everything changed.
And she's like, wait, maybe I'm not the person I thought I was,
Yeah.
and I need more help.
Yeah. And also Evelyn scooped her up right away and had a huge session with her.
That's right, when everyone else was climbing the mountain, right?
Yeah. Yeah. They were digging into her past. And yeah, it's hard to tell what is the actual truth with Lila and Jess, her
I
sister. Which I
know.
think is the point of that whole episode with Lila is like, are they brainwashing her?
Mm,
Or did this actually happen? We'll probably never know. And Lila probably doesn't know either.
yeah.
She's a kid.
She's a kid. She doesn't trust her own memories because
Yeah.
Evelyn's made her not trust her own memories.
Mm-hmm.
We saw kind of three different versions of what happened,
Mm-hmm.
and I would believe any of them, to be honest.
Yeah.
Even though her seeing Jess struggle and just stand there was really hard to watch.
Yeah. I I feel like she didn't just let Jess die. Because when Lila and Abby met in the supply closet, Abby was like, "No, I remember you called me the day after and told me everything." Like, at this point, I think Abby's a more reliable narrator to what happened
Mm,
than Lila.
I agree. I think it's definitely true that Lila called her and said that.
Mm.
But do you think she was already lying to herself and she's like, I tried everything or
Oh.
something? That's what I thought, but who knows?
Oh. Yeah, maybe. I thought she started lying to herself after Evelyn started brainwashing her,
Mm,
but yeah, who knows? It's hard to like no one's a reliable narrator
yeah,
in this situation.
yeah, very true.
Very difficult to know who to trust.
Yeah.
Which is the very hard truth about these kinds of schools.
Mm-hmm. I know it's like they're targeting children at such a formative age,
Mhm.
and yeah, they just prey on these vulnerable children who don't have great relationships with their parents,
Yeah.
whose parents just like relinquish all control over the
Yeah.
lives of their children to this body
Mm.
that like they don't know what's going on, and they don't even trust their children enough if the children say, "Hey, I don't want to be here anymore."
Right.
Yeah.
And like these people working in these schools will basically abuse them, but then say, I love you at the end. And I'm sure a lot of these kids don't really hear that at home.
Yeah.
So in some ways it feels safer because they're getting some sort of reassurance that they're wanted.
Yeah. Very tough.
So sad.
Um, okay. Two people at the school I wanted to talk about were Oatmeal Beth and Ello. So, Oatmeal Beth, I thought her character was interesting because she was still a student, right? Was she a student?
Okay, so at one point the boy, what was his name?
Daniel?
No. No, not that kid. The
Oh,
one that had a crush on Abby.
oh, oh my gosh.
Rory.
Yes, Rory.
At one point, Rory said, no, was it Rory or was it Ello? Someone said, don't trust Oatmeal Beth. She's already turned 18.
Oh yeah, Ello said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
So
don't know if she was a student
like
there.
when they turn 18, are they no longer students or
I would think not because they're adults
okay.
and they have their own, they can leave if they want.
Interesting. Because I was also reading that like in order to graduate you have to take the leap, maybe. That was a theory that I
Oh,
read. And so if that's true, then it's not age dictating when they leave the school. It's the leap dictating when they leave the school. But
oh,
maybe Oatmeal Beth was not ready to leap and so she chose to stay or something. I don't know.
maybe.
Yeah, maybe it was voluntary.
Yeah, yeah. It could have been like what Lila said at the end. Like, basically, I'm better off here than
Yeah.
anywhere else.
Yeah. Which is honestly maybe true for Lila. I mean, Like it's just so hard. Obviously, it's not she's not safe at that school. Like
Yeah,
that would
by any
not
means.
yeah, that she's not by any means safe at that school. But if her alternative is like having to fend for herself while her mother completely ignores her, but here she has food, she's
Yeah.
not using drugs. It's yeah, I don't know. It's like what's
No.
worse? What's better?
Like, is there an alternative? I don't
I
know.
don't know. I mean, there has to it can't be either fend for yourself or
Yeah,
be controlled. Like there
right.
has to be there are other options. Like in I guess in this universe,
Yeah.
maybe she is in the better place for herself. I don't
Like,
know.
if she had to choose one or the other, yeah,
Yeah.
they're both, like, horrible options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that also that's kind of what I wanted to talk about regarding Ello also, because that was kind of Ello's argument was that like
Yeah.
before I came here, I was on the streets, I was an addict, and now I have a life again.
Yeah.
And
Purgatory is
so
better than hell.
yes, purgatory is better than hell.
Yeah.
That was such a strong line.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, why did the school keep her drugs? Why did they not throw the drugs away?
I don't think they knew the drugs were there. 'Cause it was
Oh, it was
stitched
in the
into her jacket.
jacket. That's
Yeah.
right. Ah, I forgot about that. So tragic.
So tragic. She definitely died, right?
I don't know. They said they took her to the hospital. That's what Evelyn told Rabbit,
Mm,
but I don't know if they ever said what happened.
okay. Mm.
That was so tough to watch. One of the reasons I don't watch Euphoria is I hate seeing kids doing drugs,
Oh,
and this was really tough to watch.
yeah, it was. Let
Ugh.
me see what else I wanted to
Oh,
talk
I want to talk about another student,
about. Okay.
Stacy.
Oh, Stacey.
Ugh.
Oh, God. At first, you're like, oh, she's like a goody two shoes. But
Yeah, but something's off, and something was very off. I was on Reddit, and someone said there are two people in TV shows that I hate the absolute most. One is Joffrey Baratheon, and one is Stacy.
oh my God.
That's how much they hated her.
Wow.
Yeah,
She was
she was
horrible.
awful. But then, like, part of me has a little bit of sympathy for her because she was in the system her whole life, and she was
Yeah.
probably brainwashed, and she's a kid. It's not totally her fault.
Yeah.
But she's unfortunately just a victim of this whole establishment.
Institution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She sucked though.
She sucked. Okay, also, just one, I don't know if this is a plot hole or what, but like in the second episode when Abby first got there, Stacy made such a big hullabaloo about no physical contact and like she wouldn't touch Abby. When Abby touched her, she freaked out in front of the whole cafeteria. And then but then I feel like they showed people touching each other in every other scene after that.
Yeah, so true. Like the hot seat, they were all like weirdly hugging each other,
Yeah.
caressing each other. And then I was thinking, okay, maybe that's the only time when they're allowed to. But then, yeah, they keep showing Abby and Lila hugging in front of other people.
Yeah, and they showed Marty tapping Lila on the shoulder to give her the oatmeal.
Yeah.
They showed Lila grabbing Marty's shirt. Like there was a lot
Yeah.
of casual physical contact that should have been reported.
Yeah. And then Stacy caressing Abby's face and kissing her forehead
Oh yeah, what
after
the
the
heck?
week. I was thinking like, oh, maybe Stacy's on the other side now. She's part of the institution.
Mm.
And so she's Abby's caretaker. But ugh.
Ugh.
Ugh. So creepy.
I just remembered the other animal role that
Mm,
was appropriate, which was she was a pigeon, right? She was like a pigeon
that's
level.
right. Yeah.
And I thought it reminded me of like carrier pigeons, where she was kind of the messenger
Yeah.
between the students and the faculty
Yeah.
of like just reporting what was
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah, I picked up on that too. Also her demeanor was very pigeon-like. She was very sprightly and like popping in on
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
Stacy's a bird.
Yeah. Okay, I had a question about the arc, Stacy's arc towards the end. So after the leap, she is presumably on the other side where
Mhm.
now she's part of the institution, but then she gets adopted by a family? I was a little confused by that.
So I think it was a similar thing to Dwayne's kid,
Mhm.
his kid, but like, yeah, the kid that got assigned to Dwayne.
Oh,
So
okay.
I think not everyone stays at the school, but everyone stays in the town and is adopted by a family in the town.
Oh, so you think that couple was also part of the school at one point?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Or either part of the school or like part of the cult for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah. I don't think they just like released her to a random family.
Okay, that would make sense. She's freaking weird.
Yeah.
The adoptive couple probably sent her back.
I'd be like, let's try again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh my god, what a crazy character.
I know.
But the actress was so
She
good.
was
She's
so
Yeah.
perfectly
She was
irritating.
so easy to hate.
Yeah.
Yeah, great casting.
And I do feel like we saw a flicker of her human side after she stabbed, what's his name, Daniel?
Daniel, yeah.
Yeah. After she stabbed Daniel, it's
Yeah.
like you see her be like, what am I doing? But then she just like
Yeah.
blocks it out and keeps
Yeah.
going with it.
Was that after her leap?
Hmm.
Okay. So I'm wondering if the leap just like made her not feel deeply.
That would make sense because that is also in line with what Laura was saying about her own feelings towards her baby. She's like, I don't feel anything for my baby. I don't
Yeah.
feel anything for my parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. It's like, let's break all the emotional ties because that's where trauma comes from or something.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oof. With no love, there's no heartbreak.
Yeah.
But then, what do you think about Laura and Alex's relationship? Do you think Laura really loved Alex?
Mm.
It seemed like she did.
It did seem like she did. It did. And I don't think that was ever revealed to be false or like
Yeah.
faked.
Yeah. Yeah. One theory I read was the leap is meant to cut familial ties or ties
Like
to things that you should feel.
intergenerational.
Yeah, that. And then also maybe like feelings you should feel like when Stacy killed Daniel. There's a feeling that you should have that the leap severs. But
Mm.
then with romantic relationships,
Like there's no precedent for how
yeah,
you should feel.
you just love whoever you love. And there's no should or would for any single person.
Kind of progressive.
I know. What the hell?
But yeah, I could see that. I could see that for sure. It's like anything any parent-child-esque relationship
Mhm.
is like blocked out from your emotional capacity, but like you can have any peer relationship.
Yeah.
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 Because Laura also definitely felt some sort of love towards her former classmates and stuff,
Do you
you
think
know?
it was love or just like comfort that there are other people like her?
She seemed to like genuinely be happy to see Dwayne and
Mm.
that other guy, I forgot his name. The other guy whose parents tried to scare
Oh,
the gay out of him.
yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
yeah. So I think maybe it is like a peer versus parent-child kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Mm.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh, one symbolism that I noticed, or maybe it's not symbolism, but just like alluding to something else was Evelyn on the tricycle. It reminded me of The Shining.
oh, yeah, that's
But
right.
in this case, Evelyn was the bad person and the kid in The Shining was like innocent.
Yeah, but it was filmed in a very similar way where it's like
Right?
it just shows the feet kind of
Yeah.
going and
Like
then
different terrain,
yeah,
like the rugs in the
and making
hotel.
turns and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. Whoa.
Yeah.
Interesting. There was a line that Evelyn said at the first dinner she was invited to at Alex and Laura's house, which is when things go unloved for too long, they stop existing. And I don't remember what she was talking about when she said that. It was not about the school at all, but I think that was it's an allusion to how she feels about the students at her school that like she
Mm.
either like she breeds on children that are unloved because they don't really exist to anyone at that point, so she can make them whatever she wants to
Yeah.
make them or something.
I can totally see that because the staff also tells the kids when they arrive, like, your older self is dead.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
stop existing.
Yeah.
And maybe it also has to do with what we were just talking about, which is like your uh your inability to love a parent or a child relationship once you're brainwashed. So like nobody really exists and everyone is just there for her. Like no one has their own identity.
Yeah.
Everyone's just there to serve her.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Crazy.
So
Ugh.
creepy.
Yeah.
Another line that I noticed was that Evelyn and Pigeon, or yeah, Stacy. I wrote down Pigeon, but Evelyn and Stacy both say at different points in the show, it'll be like it never happened. And they both said it, and there was like a weird emphasis on that line both times. And I don't know exactly what they meant by drawing attention to that, but maybe it was like just your life before didn't matter,
Yeah.
or like bad things don't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After the leap.
It's
Yeah.
only happy memories.
Yeah.
Yeah. That maybe it's that.
Oh.
Maybe it's that.
Which is kind of like Severance.
True. It'll be like it. Work never happened.
Yep. All those dentist appointments and flights, it'll be like it never happened.
Mm. Whoa.
Whoa.
Oh, one perhaps plot hole. You know when Alex goes to the house of that former Tall Pines parent, who's kind of a conspiracy theorist now,
Mm-hmm.
um, and she found the picture of Laura and her parents.
Mm-hmm.
How did he have that photograph?
Yeah. So true.
I was like, this is not even a printed out thing from the internet. This is literally a photograph.
Okay, what was the point of that guy?
Mm,
Was it just to show that like people have been looking into this for a while?
I think so. I think it's that
Oh.
there's evidence that the students that were seen in other places weren't actually there.
Oh, okay.
Like there is something going on behind the curtain.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Side note with that character, he plays Glenn on Superstore, and it's such a different character.
Oh, really?
Like Glenn, he's the manager of the store, and he's this like very soft, pudgy man who talks like this. And he was so different in the show. So when I saw his face, I was like, what? Who is that? And it was Glenn.
Oh my god. What a wide range he has.
Yeah.
Wow. Good for him.
I know. Yeah. Those are the only two things I've seen him in.
Wow.
But it is quite a range.
All right.
Glenn.
Go, Glenn. Oh, just very minor thing. Well, Toast. Toast was so cute. But did you notice that Toast hates Evelyn?
Oh,
Every time
no.
they were in the same room, Toast ran away.
Oh, I didn't notice
Yeah.
that.
So, red flag.
Yeah.
Red flag.
Toast was onto something
Yep.
because he also barked at the basement.
Oh, yeah. What do you think that was about when he barked at the basement?
I think they were trying to allude to, you know how like dogs can sense supernatural whatever, or can sense something bad is happening. It was alluding to that's basically where the cult started, right?
Yeah.
In the door and everything. Yeah, I think
You
he's
think
just
he
like
could just
something's
feel the
wrong.
energy, the
Yeah.
negative energy?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Also, you know that flashback scene where Evelyn killed the old cult leader?
Mm-hmm.
Did everyone else die then too? Because remember when we saw the blood stain from that kid that Alex killed,
Mm-hmm.
but then they panned to other parts of the roof or ceiling and there were more blood
Like the
stains.
floor? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was just one other blood stain. Or was it multiple?
I don't remember.
Okay,
There
okay.
was another one for sure.
There was another one for sure. And then when the original cult leader died, I was like, oh, it was his murder. But I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't think other people died. I think they just started following her. Because
Oh,
then they show all of them, like,
oh,
hugging and,
yeah.
yeah.
Ew, those hugs are so
So
creepy.
creepy.
Ugh, gross.
Yeah. Um, I think the last thing I wanted to say was that this show was surprisingly non-religious. Like,
Yeah.
there were no ties to traditional religion, which I thought was really
Yeah.
interesting because usually when I see culty things, it's usually like deeply rooted in Christianity or something. But
Yeah.
this had none of that.
Yeah, so true. Um, yeah, that brings me back to that one cult that started in India that came to the US. The reason the cult leader could stay in the US was because he identified as a religious figure. That's why he could stay. 'Cause you
Oh.
have a special visa for that. Um, so yeah, I had always associated cults with like deep, like crazy interpretations of different religions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
never
this
thought
was
of
like
that.
completely original.
Yeah,
Huh.
but it is based on an actual school.
Yeah. Yeah. That is true. But it's surprising that that school wasn't based in any religion. Or maybe it was and they
Yeah,
cut that out of the show or something.
I kind of forget from the documentary if it was.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well,
Progressive.
anything else you wanted to say?
Um, I guess touching a little more on the actual school that this
Oh
is based
yeah. Oh
on.
yeah. I wanted to hear about the similarities.
Yeah, so I watched this a while back, so I don't remember everything from that show, but it was very similar. Like they would kidnap the kids, they would underfeed them. I read when I was doing research on this show that apparently they would have these kids, like they had fight clubs basically. They would have kids fight each other,
Oh, kind
which
of like hot seat.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So they would do that. Then there was this really famous murder case that I think involved a kid who's related to the Kennedys. He was in the school and he was charged with murder, but then it turns out that the school was basically threatening him. He was saying like, "No, I didn't do it. I didn't do it." And the school was like, "You have to say you did it." And they were like, it was basically like Amanda Knox, honestly, where they
Oh.
like, and then he was like, "Okay, maybe I did do it." And then he got charged.
Oh no.
But then he eventually got acquitted later on. I think it was a Kennedy kid, but someone should fact check me on that.
Yappers, let us know if it was a Kennedy
Yeah,
kid or not.
please.
What was the documentary called?
It's called The Program.
The
I
Pro.
don't know if the Kennedy kid was in the program,
Oh,
but
but
there's
you read
someone
about
on.
it separately. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, but it's really fucked up. It seems like a big like loophole in the system
Mm.
for adults to be able to abuse children legally, essentially.
Yeah, seriously.
These for-profit private reform schools, those are just huge red flags.
Yeah, and how can they become the legal guardian of
Yeah,
children? Like, an institution should not be allowed to be a guardian.
definitely not.
Yeah.
Like I can understand like boarding
Yeah.
schools, um, but I imagine they also don't limit kids' interactions with their parents at all.
Totally. Yeah, I'm sure they don't limit that, and they're not legal guardians.
Oh, yeah.
I bet. I mean,
Yeah.
actually, I don't know, yappers, if you went to boarding school and that's wrong, let me know.
Please.
But I imagine the parents are still the legal guardians.
Yeah.
They're just like away at school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's really tough. And then, yeah, I was reflecting more after this show, like, if parents are dealing with a kid, if they have a kid where they just don't know how to get through, what are the options?
Mm.
Like, military school? I feel like having the government looking in is probably a little bit better than a private institution.
Well,
Well, this, I take that back.
not this government.
Nope. But yeah, like, what is the solution? If you have limited resources, you can't afford therapy.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the school is expensive, but like, what do you do?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Maybe the answer is if you can afford the school, you can afford therapy for your child.
Yeah.
And if you care enough, you'll find a solution where you're not completely cut off from that.
Yeah, where you just give up and send your child away.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But it's sad if they really think that's the best thing for their child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it like they are a victim of the situation too. It's like all brainwashing and misleading and
Yeah.
manipulation, and
Totally.
it's really sad. Yeah.
Well, on that note,
What a positive show we just watched.
okay, let's rate. So our new rating system is we give 5 points or out of 5 for quality and out of 5 for enjoyment.
Oh, okay.
Integers only.
Quality, I would say maybe 4 out of 5. There were some plot holes, but overall I thought well done. And enjoyment, I would say 5 out of 5. I was
Wow.
gripped the whole time. I mean, we forced ourselves to watch it through in one day.
Yeah, that was our 9 to 5 yesterday, aka Saturday.
Saturday, yeah. But I really enjoyed it.
Nice.
As difficult a watch as it was.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm similar. I actually think I'm gonna flip those. I think quality for me was 5 out of 5. It was one of those shows that made me want to read so much about it, which doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
And like I just loved how Mae Martin created this world and included the themes of sexuality and gender identity without making it a focal point. It was so novel. Everything about the show was so novel to me.
Yeah.
So I really liked that, and the acting was so good. Toni Collette is so brilliant.
Yeah.
So yeah, 5 out of 5 for quality, and then I would say enjoyment was 4 out of 5. But very enjoyable show.
Okay.
Very enjoyable show.
Why wasn't it
5 out of 5? I think maybe just the subject matter was like a little tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think 5 out of 5 shows for me are shows like that I'm like, I love watching because it's so fun and enjoyable.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, definitely not a knock against the show. That's why I like 5 out of 5 for quality. But enjoyment, it's like, it was so good, but like, just so hard to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Binge in progress?
Ooh, binge in progress. Well, we're watching Survivor season 49.
Yes.
2 episodes have come out so far. Very excited for that. And what else? I successfully rewatched all of Broad City before my Hulu subscription is officially canceled.
Nice.
Yeah, I tried to sneak that in, and I'm justifying it because Broad City is a very lefty show.
And
I wanna
Hulu's not
support it.
getting any more of your money.
Yeah, exactly. And there was another. I guess we watched a horror movie, Weapons, which was fantastic.
Weapons was crazy.
So good.
Crazy.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna start leaning into the spooky season movies a bit more.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Binge in progress for me. It's fall. After our Gilmore Girls episode, I started rewatching Gilmore Girls. Of course. And I just finished Rory's birthday parties episode, which is season 1, episode 6. And what else am I watching? Survivor. We're watching The Great British Bake Off. We're watching another season of The Great British Bake Off.
Can't get enough.
Just because we want to be able to binge it. And I started this other show on Netflix I think it's called Doc. It's about this woman who's she's the chief of internal medicine at this hospital, and she's kind of a bitch, and then she gets in a car wreck and has complete amnesia for the last 15 years.
Whoa.
And so like thinks she's still married to her husband, thinks her daughter still lives with her, but like her life is completely changed. It's kind of like a reverse 13 going on 30 in a way, where she's like, oh my god, it's similar to 13 going on 30 in that she's like, how did my life become like this kind of thing.
But in the reverse direction, where she thinks she's 15 years younger.
Yes. Yeah. And it's also like a medical drama, which I like. So yeah, it's going pretty well.
Cool.
All right. Well, yappers, that's a wrap. If you have any other thoughts on Wayward, anything we missed, definitely let us know in the comments.
Please do.
Always trying to learn more about this show. I hope there's a season 2.
Me too.
Yeah. Maybe we can see more about Laura's past.
Oh, yeah. I want to see a full takedown of Tall Pines.
Yes, that would be very cathartic.
Yeah.
Cool.
Make it happen, Netflix.
Yes, Netflix, make it happen. Thanks for yapping with us. If you loved this episode, have some hot takes we missed, or if you've got a show you're dying for us to binge next, follow us on socials. We're at Binge Yap Repeat.
Until next time, happy binging!